welcome back to my channel. It's your favorite internet tailor Adauju, and you're welcome to the very first episode of vlogmas. Like, vlogmas is when you post one video every day till Christmas. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys sewing tools I cannot sew without, sewing tools that changed my life, sewing tools that has made sewing easier for me, because trust me, I have been in the ghetto. And one day I decided to be like, you know what, Ada, the ghetto life is not for you. You have to step out. And I decided to get these sewing tools for myself. And slowly by slowly, I built up a stash of sewing tools that has made sewing very easy for me. And I'm just going to share them with you. First sewing tool that has made life easier for me is my rotary cutter. Okay, it makes pattern cutting easy for me. It makes cutting elastic fabric easy for me. Sometimes when I'm not in the mood to do that scissors chip 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 chip, okay, I just wing out my rotary cutter and I use it to cut. Now, something I must mention is the rotary cutter helps me when I'm doing bulk cutting. Like, this thing literally went through 16 layers. I was shocked. Like, I don't know how to explain this to you. I just pressed it down and moved 16 layers. So one thing that has made sewing easy for me, it has made pattern drafting easy for me, is my rotary cutter. And trust me guys, if you don't have a rotary cutter, you are wrong. Please get one for yourself. Trust me, it will make life easier for you, especially when you are cutting stretchy fabrics. You guys know how sometimes it tends to move around. It will even mess with your pattern sometimes if you're not very careful. So one thing that has made sewing very easy for me is my rotary cutter. Another thing that has made sewing easy for me, that has really changed my life, is the seam guard. Trust me guys, sometimes, especially when I'm working with tulle fabric, organza, some lace fabric, those ones that if you mark with chalk, the chalk will literally filter out of the fibers of the fabric. This seam guide has really helped me, because I just clip it on my dog feed, or that area where we feed our clothes on, and it just stays in place. Like, it stays in place, and it helps me, like the name is a seam guard. If I've clipped it on the 1-inch mark, it literally says there, and when I'm sewing, it helps me know that, okay, well, I don't, if you are going further than this, it means it's no longer 1-inch sewing allowance you are taking. So something that has changed my life is the seam guard. Another sewing tool that I'm really loving right now, that has really changed my sewing game for me, is my long ruler. Like, this ruler is really long. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating how long it is, but trust me, the long ruler has changed my sewing game, because I had a ruler. It wasn't a ruler, it was like a stick that had measurements. Maybe it's a ruler, but it wasn't really doing it for me. So it was just docile in my studio. I wasn't really using it. And sometimes when I need to mark really long lengths for my pattern, I just find myself so handicapped. When I need to mark maybe my flared, I need my long ruler to give me, I wasn't just getting the best out of longer lengths. When I want to mark longer lengths, I can't keep doing it with my short ruler, 30 inches or to 30 cm, 30 cm, 30 cm. It was just making sewing boring for me. It was making pattern drafting boring for me, especially when I was drafting like gowns, trousers, all those things. But the moment I got my long ruler, before I bite my tongue, the moment I got my long ruler, cutting gowns, cutting flares, cutting anything that required long length has become easier, because I just literally put the ruler on one end and stretch it to the other end, and I take my measurement in less than 30 seconds. So guys, this is one sewing tool I can't do without. It has changed my life, and I don't think I'm going back to the other side of short rollers again. That's when I'm cutting long length. Another spicy sewing tool that has made life easier for me is my elastic grip. Guys, normally when I'm putting my elastic in my clothes, I use these office pins, but you guys know that this thing can decide to snap open when you are in the middle of the dress. The pin just pricks your hand. That's because the pin, the head of the safety pin, is out from the snap, and it is stuck in the band. We all know this struggle. And one day I was like, you know what, I've had enough. I just ordered the elastic grip, and guys, life has been easier. Life has been easier. No more elastic, no more safety pin opening halfway in my band when I'm trying to push the elastic into the band. No more elastic detaching from the safety pin because for some funny reasons the elastic changed its mind. All that thing is a thing of the past. I just put my elastic in the elastic grip. I secure it properly, and I just push it through my band or push it through my folded hem, and my elastic is well seated in my outfit. This one blew my mind. See guys, sewing is technical. Sewing can be frustrating sometimes when your sewing machine just decides to be funny. If you don't have the right tools to make life easier for you, you will just be sad. Another thing that has made sewing really easy for me, it has really changed my sewing game, is my fabric clips. Now, one thing I really struggled with when drafting a pattern and having to place that pattern on my fabric and cut is aligning the center. You guys know when we fold, okay, and we place the pattern, you guys know that that's middle, sometimes it doesn't align well, and when I'm trying to put my pin so it will align properly, or more, this thing is refusing to align and it just frustrates me. You know, there are some thick fabrics that holding with a pin there are some thick fabrics that holding with a pin when you want to sew, it doesn't just work. Like you're just going to work yourself out. The pin will keep getting in the way of the dog feed. The best thing I did was I got fabric clips that when I want to just place, even now when I want to place my pattern, whether it's an elastic fabric, whether it's a normal fabric, that's your cotton fabric, I literally just place the pattern. That's for the center front. I literally just place the pattern on it. On that fold, I clip with my fabric clips, okay, holding my stretchy fabrics together. It has been easier for me since I got these fabric clips or sewing clips, or some people call it stationary clips. So trust me guys, it has made life easier for me, and you should get one, okay? You should get one. You guys know those office pins that are a little longer than normal? They are slimmer than the normal office pins that we know, and they have these caps. Sometimes the caps come in bow tie, they come in pearls, and they come in other funny designs. Guys, you need to get that pin. You know why? You know, sometimes when you secure your pattern, when you place your pattern on your fabric and you use the normal office pin, sometimes the office pin, cuts through the paper and gets missing, and it just digs into the fabric, and you just be there thinking that you've secured your pattern paper to the fabric with a pin, and the moment you just apply pressure to cut, the pattern will just move. I always experienced this. Like I always experienced this. And one day I'm like, you know what? I've been seeing these pins everywhere. With this cap, I think is going to stop this issue I'm always having. Especially because the pin is slender. It will leave very tiny holes in the pattern compared to the larger holes the normal office pin leaves in the pattern, and it is longer too, so it covers more distance compared to the normal office pin, those cap pins, okay? It really changed my life. It has made securing patterns to my fabric very, very, very easy for me. Something you should be at the back of your mind, it is very sharp, so you want to be very careful when you're using it. At least in my own opinion, the tips are way sharper than the normal office pins. I think so. I don't know, it might just be my mind messing with me. So another sewing tool that has made life easier for me is this thread cutter. I don't know if that's the real name. Is it tailor's razor or tailor's knife? But I call it thread cutter. I'm just going to put a video so you guys know what I'm talking about. The cutter helps to cut the thread. You can open it up, okay? You can open it up. You can use it to slice your pattern. You can use it to slice your pattern, to slash your pattern open. You can also use it to make a dent. You can use it for a lot of things. And guys, this sewing tool has made life easier for me. Like, another sewing tool that has made life easier for me is my cutting mat. Guys, let me give you guys a backstory. When I got my rotary cutter, I was so excited. I just placed several layers, of fabric that I wanted to cut on my cutting table, and I went in with my rotary cutter. This thing cut through all the layers of fabric that I placed, and it cut my table too. In fact, it cut my ironing, the fabric I use for ironing. It cut it, and it left dents, long marks on my table, and I'm like, what is going on? I knew you're sharp, but not this sharp. So if you're ordering a rotary cutter, make sure it goes hand in hand with the cutting mat, okay? That thing that has been a game changer in my sewing game, in my sewing career, You guys know I'm your favorite internet tailor. Another thing that has really changed it for me is my tracing wheel. Guys, I don't know why I spent years not buying a tracing wheel. Maybe because at the time I wasn't so into pattern drafting. The moment I started drafting patterns back to back, and sometimes I want to create a basic body block, or I want to transfer this pattern to another paper. The moment I started having, back to back pattern drafting, and I literally have to start from scratch all the time, taking all the measurements, you guys, I started thinking of getting a tracing wheel. And right now, especially when you want to cut maybe an asymmetric neckline and you need the markings on this side of the pattern, also on the other side of the pattern, trust me, it is stressful when you have to draft that thing 2 times. So all I just do is, after drafting one side, I use my tracing wheel and trace out all the lines, all the outlines, and I just use my biro or my pencil or my marker and go and highlight all the markings on the other side of the pattern. Okay, this has changed my pattern drafting game, trust me. Especially maybe I want to draft another pattern, I want to draft another basic bodice pattern, but I don't want to go through the whole stress. I'll just pick my normal pattern, the pattern I already have, place it on my already cut out paper, use my tracing wheel to trace it out. Okay, you guys know when in primary school where we use our pencil, we exert some pressure and we just pull it through a surface so we can have like lines, and we can work with that. That is literally what a tracing wheel does for you. And guys, this has changed my pattern drafting game, and it has made sewing easier for me. It has made sewing faster for me. It has literally changed my life. See, when it comes to enjoying your sewing journey, it starts with small things. Ladies, we always talk about, oh, it's the small things he does. Getting these tools is the small love languages. Your love language, choose one. Okay, when it comes to sewing. Okay, and this tracing view has really changed my life. Bonus tip. Another sewing tool that has changed my life, okay, especially because I'm the kind of person that when I'm done sewing, I like to have my hems folded in, but there are no stitches. I like to hem with my needle and thread. The moment I started using my hemming gum, okay, I think when I used to do this was when I was way younger. But when I started making clothes more for myself and for clients, when I knew that, okay, I have like 10 skirts to hem with my needle and thread, I was like, oh, more, I'm signing out, man. That's not for me. I started using my hemming gum, and trust me, guys, this has made life easier for me. If you don't know how to use a hemming gum, I have a detailed tutorial here on this channel on how to use a hemming gum. So you want to check that out, because this thing will literally seal the hem of your dresses and you don't have to bother about it loosening. Now, one tip I always tell people is, if you're going to use a hemming gum and you want to be tossing that cloth into the washing machine, you would want to double on the layer of the hemming gum. Okay, you want to use like 2 layers, like folded into two, when you're applying it on the fabric. That way, it's when you use super glue to hold something. That is how it will hold the fabric. So guys, these are sewing tools that has made life easier for me. They've really changed my sewing game. They are sewing tools, trust me, I cannot do without. And of course, I didn't buy these things once. I bought them one after the other, depending on the need. Okay, when I see that, okay, I'm constantly having a need for this sewing tool, I get it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Do come back for another video tomorrow, because this is vlogmas, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Bye.